to be on the wrong side of history.
A lot of people thought this was going to be the night, but it wasn't.
Nobody wants to be there.
And the Pistons' losing streak has reached 25.
We're not 2-26 bad. No way are we that bad.
And as hard as they tried, the Pistons have not been able to avoid another loss. Hard to swallow.
Christine, from a hoop perspective, it has been misery in Motown. You know, the 76ers own the all-time NBA losing streak at 28 games over 2 seasons from 2014 to 15. So let's dive into the Pistons losing streak by the numbers. 26 straight losses, tied for the longest single-season losing streak in NBA history, along with the 2010-11 Cavaliers, 2013-14 76ers. And then looking ahead, there's only one game that ESPN analytics favor the Pistons to win the entire rest of the season. That would be their January 10th home game against the Spurs, who have just 4 wins themselves. And today's game is all about the 3-ball, and the Pistons, not good. They rank dead last in three-point field goal percentage at 33%, which has led to 3rd worst scoring average in the league. So let's bring in our NBA analyst, Austin Rivers. Listen, Austin, in your career, you had an 11-game losing streak your rookie year with New Orleans. What was said in that locker room during those tough times?
Well, first off, thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate you, man. It's supposed to be Christmas, and
Right.
we aren't diving into that. But listen, you know what, man? In those type of moments, it's really key that everyone just kind of understands where they're at, right? This team is a team they're headed to the lottery. We knew this before the season was started. This was not a team that was favored to go to the playoffs by any means. So right now, I think for the Pistons, you got to understand in the locker room, they have to be talking about light at the end of the tunnel. What can we get out of this year? Are we just going to be a team that continues to lose games? It gets dark. I remember that time when we lost 10, 11 straight. We all looked at each other and was like, yo, we got to get these wins out the mud. It doesn't matter who plays well, who scores. We just got to outwork teams. If you're going to be the worst team in the league, you've got to be the hardest playing team in the league. And we don't see that on a night-to-night basis from them. And until then, they're probably going to struggle.
So I went to the Brooklyn game where they lost that 26 straight against the Nets. What then has to happen for the Pistons to end that streak tonight against that same Brooklyn team that they just took an L to on Saturday?
You know, I mentioned it, light at the end of the tunnel. There has to be some type of end goal that this team puts at place for them to get out of this. This isn't just going to be a thing where they go and outwork a team and beat them. It has to be more. It has to be. There has to be a bigger picture here. It can't be, let's just keep losing games and let's go to the lotto. Because right now, because they've lost so many games, now nobody wants to lose to them. Every team that plays them, instead of looking at them as the bad Pistons, every team that they play, nobody wants the embarrassment of losing to the Pistons. So they're actually getting everyone's best right now. So the hole is just getting bigger and bigger, deeper and deeper for the Pistons. They have to understand that they got to go into each game and they have to, there has to be a light at the end of the tunnel to where they can band together and find something that they can like join and group together around. Otherwise, this season is already lost. I mean, we're past embarrassing. Losing 10 and 11 in a row like I did was embarrassing. 26 in a row, and more importantly tonight, if they lose 27, is going to end up being like, you know, Cade Cunningham said, the wrong side of history. You don't want to be that.
Yeah, Monty Williams, a really good head coach. But, you know, they are loaded with so many good young players. Ivy, Cade Cunningham. When you're in a slump like this, is there any fear that you start to lose the development of those young players? They develop bad habits.
You don't want players. Exactly. You just nailed it on the head. You don't want players to get used to losing. You don't want players getting bad habits. I always say this, the same snowball effect that happens when you see a young team thriving, like in OKC, like in Minnesota. You see some of these young teams, and I know Detroit's a lot younger, but still you'll see good things happening, whether it's for a team or a player. That confidence just snowballs and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Right now, we're on the opposite side. It just seems like nothing's going right for this team. Even the games that they had a chance to win, they didn't win. The Utah game was set up for them to win. Half of their team out, they couldn't go and get it because right now everyone's kind of tight over there. It's snowballs getting bigger, you see? So that's why I try to say light at the end of the tunnel multiple times, because they have to have something that their team can kind of group together arm in arm and be like, okay, listen, this is going to be a bad season for us, but like you said, the Spurs are only 2 wins or 3 wins more than them. The difference is every once in a while they scrap and they go beat a respectable team. It has to be something where these young players are getting something out of this season, despite the terrible record. You don't want a team continuing down this path because the habits are going to get worse.
Austin Rivers, he's our NBA analyst. Appreciate the insight, my brother. Thank you.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
All
Thank
right.
you for bringing it up.
Absolutely. Let's take a look ahead at the Pistons and look. Let's try to find them a win. Unfortunately, the schedule not promising. They get a tough one. Boston after today's Nets game. Then they've got a 4-game road trip. It includes the Warriors, the Nuggets. Now they could break the all-time record Saturday, folks, against the Raptors.